Hey y'all, just wanted to come back with a quick word of encouragement. I know that for many of us, life has happened, and as a result of things not going the way that we want, we're now scared to step out. And what I heard was you are overthinking and underliving. Let me tell you this, you have a God who is your safety net. He's not looking to punish you or smack your hand if you make the wrong decision. If you are sincere in praying and keeping God involved in what you're doing and submitting your requests to Him, He will direct your path. And even when we, are sincere, but we don't hear correctly, it happens. It's okay. So quick story time / testimony. I owned a house, and that was a desire of my heart for a very long time. And I prayed throughout the process. I prayed at the new homeowners class. I prayed in talking to the bank. I prayed in my evening prayer time, and I really believed that this was what God wanted me to do, and I kept asking for His will. He connected me to amazing godly realtors. I mean, everything just lined up, and I had to bid on the house, and my offer was accepted. So with all these open doors, I believe this was God. Got in the house, lived there about 3.5 years. And unfortunately, I had some neighbors who made my life very difficult. And, people said, well, why don't you stay and fight? That's your home. You worked hard for it, et cetera, et cetera. But, I felt like God was leading me to just be like, girl, sell the house. You had the experience, now move on. Come to find out, there were things with the house that were not caught in the initial home inspection. And so when we had the inspection, because I was selling the house, there was like $15,000 worth of work that needed to be done with plumbing because there were some bad pipes that, people didn't use anymore in houses. I didn't have $15,000 laying around. But let me tell you this, not only did the house sell, and the plumber who did the work was willing to wait for his money until the closing of the house. Now, why am I sharing all this business with you? What I'm saying to you is I don't know if it was ever God's will necessarily that I buy a house during that point, but He rescued me is the point that I'm making to you. We serve a God who will rescue us, y'all, if we mess up. It's okay. It is not okay to live life so afraid and so terrified of, I got to perform perfectly and I got to do God's will perfectly because if I mess it up, it's unto death. That's not okay. And that's what keeps people from wanting to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, because they're so terrified that they can't live up to a standard. And God is not asking you to change who you are to come to Him. He's asking you to come to Him, and He's going to help change and perfect the things that concern us. I know on my channel, I talk about the importance of, a right relationship with God and not deviating and all that kind of stuff. And I'm serious about that. I know that that's my calling in the earth, to draw Christians back to Christ, to help Christians, and me included, when I say Christians, get the most out of our relationship with Christ. But I never want to misrepresent God and the freedom that we have in a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. You don't have to be perfect. It is okay if you mess it up. Step out. I promise you, it's going to be okay. Keep God in your plans. Now, we're not talking about just going off and doing absolutely anything that's not God's will for us and then asking God to bless it later. But I firmly believe that if you are sincere and you are keeping God at the forefront and you're asking for His input, even if you miss Him, He will rescue you. It's going to be okay. Go ahead and step out.